So my name is Jessie Stenlund. I am a graduate student here at UNT. I do chemistry education research, so I work in the Atkinson Research Group here in the chemistry department. Our group is focused on kind of a wide variety of research areas relating to chemistry education. So for me specifically, I've got a couple of different projects that I'm currently working on, mostly in the realm of organic chemistry. So there's lots of different facets of chemistry. There's organic, physical, inorganic, analytical, biochem, things like that. Organic chemistry is kind of my specialty. That's where I am most proficient and most comfortable. So that's where I do most of my work. And kind of the goal of both me as an individual and our group is to improve the learning experience for students, whether that comes through the form of investigating student experiences, implementing interventions or curricular developments to improve the learning environment in the classroom, things like that. Does that give an overview?
Yeah,
Okay.
that is awesome. Yeah, okay.
Cool.
Why is the research you're doing at the moment important?
That's a great question. I think for a couple of reasons. Number one, there are a lot of barriers to education. There are a lot of students who will start out being interested or curious about chemistry or science as a whole, and then they will get into the program and find that there are a lot of issues with either the difficulty of the course or the way that it's approached, or kind of the hoops that you have to jump through in order to get your degree. So my personal goal is to lower barriers to education, to make it more accessible to the broader community, both to those who are interested in earning a degree in chemistry, but also just in increasing public awareness and communication with the general public, those who maybe aren't necessarily interested in getting a degree in chemistry, but just science communication as a whole. I think that there's especially in this day and age, a little bit of a lack of trust between the broader community and science community, and that comes as a result of just miscommunication. Scientists tend to have very jargon-heavy language that it's very technical and harder to communicate to broader audiences. So I want to kind of bridge that gap and make it more accessible and make chemistry more accessible to those who want to do chemistry, but also to those who I think that chemistry is important for just understanding the way that the world works. And so
that is fascinating. I love
you.
it. Yeah. So what sparked you into choosing this type of route to do your research in?
So I started as an undergrad majoring in chemistry because I had an innate interest in chemistry. I liked learning about the way that the world worked. And as I progressed in my chemistry degree, I originally thought that I was going to go down more of a research track and spend my time working in a lab and doing that type of work. But I found as I progressed in my degree that I was more interested in teaching, talking, and learning about science than I was about actually doing the science. I enjoy reading the papers about the discoveries more than I enjoy making the discoveries myself. So in my senior year of my undergrad, I was introduced to the field of chemistry education, and I was like, oh, this is exactly what I want. This is a way that I can still learn chemistry and be a part of the chemistry community without having to slave away in a lab all day, for lack of a better term. So
that is awesome. Okay. So what does a typical day for you look like, especially when you're doing your research?
I don't know if there's truly such a thing as a typical day. Every day is kind of different. And it also depends on what semester I'm in. So like I mentioned kind of before this interview, I in semesters past, I was doing a mix of taking graduate coursework and doing a TA position, so spending time in class with undergrads, or either grading their assignments or helping to facilitate their lectures, and then doing research. So teaching, research, and coursework were kind of the three areas that I would spend my time. I am done with all of my coursework and I'm no longer TAing because I have a fellowship.
Nice.
So most of my day now is just research. So that kind of looks like reading papers that are relevant to my work, spending time writing. I've got I have a manuscript that's in the works. I have another project that I'm in the process of developing. So there's a lot of reading and writing that goes into developing a project. And then I have a lot of data analysis that I need to do. So for me, that comes in the form of qualitatively coding either YouTube videos or transcripts. Those are the two projects that I'm working on right now, is assessing YouTube videos and the quality of educational content online. And then my other project is using qualitative interviews to learn more about how students understand a specific topic within chemistry. So yeah, between reading, data analysis, and writing, that's kind of where my time is spent right now.
Wow, that is awesome. Sounds like a lot of work though.
It
Yeah,
is, yeah, but I enjoy it.
that is awesome. So, how does that look like? Especially like, does it take you like weeks on the ends sometimes, or is it just like a daily thing that each day is kind of different?
Yeah, I think each day is kind of different. For me, I tend to be a bit one track minded where I work better if I just have one thing that I can focus on for several days at a time until that thing is done and then I can move on to the next
The
thing.
next thing, yeah.
So over the last like 2 months, I've gone from uh, like solely focusing on video coding where I would watch a whole bunch of YouTube videos and I have like a method that we've developed for analyzing the videos. And so I would just watch a whole bunch and I would code a whole bunch and I would develop the themes and notice like what are we seeing in these videos. And I spent several weeks doing that. And then um, after I like kind of put a pause on that project for a second, I kind of pivoted to working on the project that I talked about at my undergraduate research day presentation. So I did a whole bunch of data analysis for that and only focused on that for a couple weeks and put that like whole presentation together, put that poster together. Now that undergraduate research day is done, I have pivoted to working on a research proposal that is part of
wow,
butterfly, part of my candidacy exam that's going to take place in a couple of weeks, where I basically just have to put together an independent research proposal, basically all by myself, essentially write the equivalent of an NSF grant. So that's what I've been working on for the past 2 weeks, and that has been like the sole focus of my attention. So that's where I've been at for the last 2 weeks, is
oh
a
wow,
whole bunch of reading and a whole bunch of writing.
oh wow. Two of my least favorite things to do, but hey, it's okay, I guess. That's
Yeah.
awesome though.
Thank you.
How do you feel about the current findings or accomplishment that you've made so far while you were doing your research?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think there is an equal mixture of pride at how far I've come and being able to reflect and look back and see what I've done so far, but then also a sense of like not urgency necessarily, but like when I look ahead and see how much still has to be done, it's like, oh, that's kind of daunting. That's a lot. But I think I balance that by being able to reflect back and say, okay, look, I've already come this far. I've already done this much. I know that I'm capable of seeing this through. I am a first gen college student, so I'm the only one in my family that has like taken the steps to get a PhD. So this is a bit of uncharted territory. But I do find a great sense of accomplishment in being able to see like, oh, look how far I've come. Like I'm nearly ready to publish my first manuscript, and I've like independently designed this project, and like I am becoming a researcher, and that is incredibly fulfilling.
That is awesome. Yeah. So, at the end of your research, what do you hope to find out, or is there a question that you want to answer that you have on the back of your mind when you started, or is it just what you hope to, what do you hope to find? I guess.
I don't know if it's so much as finding, but developing. I want to develop skills. So, like I mentioned at the beginning of the interview, I am interested in lowering barriers to education. I want to make education more accessible. I want to make chemistry more accessible to both learners and the broader community. So for me, I want to develop the skills to be able to facilitate that. I want to better my science communication. I want to be able to talk about science in a way that bridges the gap between like scientific jargon and like everyday learners. Um, so whether that comes in the form of like, you know, me going on to be a professor and teach, like at the college level, or whether that comes in the form of like doing science communication and broader outreach, I want to develop the skills to reach people and to talk about chemistry in a way that is accessible.
Oh, that is awesome. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I guess we'll do a little shift from your research part of the questions and talk a little more about you and try to figure out, get to know you a little better.
Yeah.
Sure. So what motivates you every day to wake up and be like, yeah, I'm gonna keep working on my research today, and I just leave it for like tomorrow or something like that. So yeah.
Yeah, that's a great question. I think it's a mixture of, number one, I care. This is something that I'm genuinely interested in doing, both because I find the things that I'm learning about to be incredibly interesting. I'm motivated by seeing the work that has been done by others before me who also deeply care about this. I'm motivated by my desire to leave the world a better place than I found it.
That's awesome.
I feel like I benefit greatly from the work of those that have come before me, and I want to do my part to make it better for those who come after me.
Wow, what an awesome answer! I love that.
Thank you.
What do you think it's the most interesting part of your research that like if you were a part and someone asked you, tell me something like really cool about what you're doing at the moment, what would
Yeah,
it be?
so one of the things that I think is interesting, so the project that I talked about at the undergraduate research day, we were focused on um, learning more about how students understand a specific topic within organic chemistry. And the way that we went about that was we developed a couple of tasks for the students to solve relating to this topic. And after they solved the tasks, it's like a homework problem or an exam
Yeah,
question. After they answered the question, we then asked them to describe their problem solving process or describe how do you know, how did you get to the answer. And so in the process of them explaining it, we recorded those, we transcribed their answers, and then we qualitatively analyzed their answers to determine what are they telling us they know based on how they answered this question. And we found that so far, this is still preliminary, we haven't finished coding the data, but whether or not a student answers correctly or incorrectly doesn't actually tell us much about what they know.
yeah,
So in their process of describing, we were able to elicit more about, okay, so they know this thing, they know that thing. And we could see examples of students who answered the question exactly correctly, but weren't able to explain it. And that might because of the fact that they are just not good at articulating their problem solving
yeah,
process,
yeah,
and that's a skill that they can develop. Or it might be because they just it was kind of like a guess and check, like they just happened to get it right versus being able to actually explain and make these connections to the different concepts that are relevant for solving it. So basically, what I find interesting about that is so like assessment and teaching. Sorry, assessment isn't necessarily um, the things that we are assessing within students don't actually tell us much about what they know. There are better ways to both facilitate learning and also to assess learning that promotes like students actually understanding the concepts at a deeper level rather than just being able to regurgitate
yeah.
whatever answer is expected from them. Um, so I find it interesting. There's a quote that I've been thinking a lot about in relation to this project and some of my other projects that goes something to the effect of science is built on facts, just as a house is built from stones. But a heap of stones is no more a house than a collection of facts is science. So
Yeah.
being able to put the facts together and integrate them and make connections and understand how they all work together is more important than just being able to, again, regurgitate facts without actually having a deeper understanding of what those facts are representing.
Yeah. Wow, that is awesome. Yeah, that's very fascinating.
Thank you.
'Cause I do agree with you because that is very something that we should, especially when you're like, especially anything in STEM, knowing why you're doing that. I think it's more important than actually just being able to take
Exactly.
questions down and solve it and getting a number out of it. So
Exactly.
yeah, that is awesome.
Cool.
Because I can relate to that one more.
Yeah.
I am a victim of knowing how to get to the answer and not knowing how to explain it.
And that's just part of the flaws of the system that we're in, where like
Yeah.
a lot of the way that the educational system is set up encourages that behavior rather than encouraging meaningful learning and helping students to like make those deeper connections.
Yeah.
A lot of it is just like learn to the test and learn to be able
Learn
to,
to just yes,
take the
exactly.
test,
Yeah.
and that's not actually helping our students. Like there are better ways to help them learn.
No, that is awesome. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah.
Thank you.
So you did say you work from home most of the time, I think,
Mhm.
and I guess we want to know. So what do you do on your free time, especially when you're not working on your research?
Well, when I have free time, I really do try to carve out at least a little bit of time to. I'm a homebody and I'm an introvert. I really like to just unwind at the end of the night
Yeah.
after doing all of like the analytical stuff, the coding, the reading, the research, all of that. I enjoy nothing more than to just like get into comfy clothes, sit on my couch,
Yeah.
plug in either a podcast or an audiobook, and work on a little craft like a crochet or like painting or just something to like do with my hands that's creative. That's just kind of allows me to like unwind and decompress after doing all of the more analytical right brain stuff all day.
Yeah. No, that is awesome. Yeah, that is very cool. I think that's gonna, be the end of this interview. Thank you so much for having the time to talk to me and talking a little more about your research.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah.